Ada for refusing to cater to a pregnant/ill woman who has nobody to help her. My husband is serving abroad, and I am caring for our infant and my niece, who is 3 years old, all by myself. I am caring for her since my elder sister is jailed at the moment. I don't have any relatives or friends in the area that can lend a hand or give me a break. I'm already doing my part, and then some more on the side. I'm very fatigued, and I have no sleep pattern or habit for myself since the kids, particularly the infant, are as demanding as can be expected of them. In fact, I'm feeling sick to my stomach and am considering throwing up if I don't get some rest as soon as I can. My spouse met someone in the military abroad who happens to be stationed at our post. He claims that his wife resides here, that she is pregnant, that she is unwell. He claims she has a mental disease, such as severe PTSD/anxiety, and that she is unable to drive herself anywhere. In the middle of the night, he offered to transport her to her early morning appointments without asking me first. He has a strong desire to assist others. I get what you're saying, but it's at that point that I'm thinking, what about me? When he contacted and informed me of the situation, I answered no. I am unable to physically put in the additional effort required to care for another human being, particularly an adult whom I do not know, and he became unhappy with me since he had already informed his partner that I could assist them in their situation. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to unless they want me to lose what little sanity I still have. I informed him about it, but he doesn't seem to believe I'm having that difficult a time and seems to think he could simply assist someone in need. Despite the fact that I'm operating on fumes, I have managed to make do with what I have. The additional job has the potential to completely destroy me. He believes I'm being terribly insensitive, and he wonders how I would feel if I needed assistance and no one was around to assist me. Despite my efforts, he believes I'm exaggerating my need for assistance. Consequently, her companion is dissatisfied, and her wife has no one who can accompany them to their early morning meeting. Ada. Story 2. Ada for having an allergic reaction. So, my group of friends and I, 18 years old, have a tradition where we hang out on Sunday evenings at someone's house for pretty much the whole duration of high school, with the host shifting week to week, depending on who is available to host that week. Whatever the case, we all agreed to chip in roughly $5 for meals, which was often pizza and other munchies. Some people gave additional money if they knew someone else was in need, and it always worked out well. Carla's, 18 female, parents own and manage a successful restaurant. Hence, they choose to cook rather than order pizza, which is great on its own. We all chip in $5 or so to cover the cost of ingredients. However, my father, who is a skilled chef and likes entertaining, does not take criticism well and continually creates foods that I either cannot eat due to food allergies or do not appreciate. So for a while, I wasn't dissatisfied since I had ceased participating/contributing money when they would have events. My issues/allergies have been discussed as openly as an uncomfortable lady can be when it comes to her discomfort. Considering that my family has never been wealthy and we were even briefly homeless at one point, hangout nights were a time when I could eat something nice without feeling guilty, and my friends were always kind in giving me leftovers if they were in the position to do so. As a result, I made the decision to return to Carla's apartment for supper on Sunday. As is traditional, I was the one who had to pay for it. It turned out to be something I'm allergic to for the second time this year. It made me want to since I had basically wasted $5 that I could have spent somewhere else. I ate some instead of confronting them about getting their money back or spoiling the party, which would have been inappropriate. Despite the fact that the allergy was not life-threatening, I broke out in hives in my face, got very red and swollen. Despite the fact that I took some Benadryl and attempted to remain as quiet as possible. My one pal Alex, 17M, noticed and inquired as to my well-being. The room instantly erupted in flames. Some people were concerned about my well-being and expressed their belief that I shouldn't be required to do so. Carol got furious and went to tell her father, who came in and asked why I didn't just refuse to eat it, to which I responded by saying that I didn't want to be a trouble or waste my $5. He drew $5 from his pocket and gave it to me, telling me not to dine at that establishment ever again. Carla was upset because I insulted her father. Was she right? 2 other acquaintances accused me of being a people-pleaser, and a third said that I was a nuisance at Carla's house on Friday nights. So, how do you feel about Ada? I didn't want this to happen, and I don't want to be separated from my friends as a consequence of it. Edit. I'm sorry for taking so long to respond. Fridays are very hectic for me, so I apologize in advance for any confusion. I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has answered, even those who have said YTA. I want you to know that I'm paying attention to what you're saying and that I understand what you're saying. I want to explain a few topics and answer any questions you may have. I have no special animosity against Carla or her parents. Rather, I am unhappy that things have turned out this way. I didn't want to get into any kind of argument. 2. I had no clue that exposure to allergens may make allergies worse, and I don't expose myself to my allergens on a regular basis. Because it has been a long time since I've had an allergic reaction, I recognize that my knowledge has to be updated, which is totally my responsibility under the law. For those who are asking why I would still do anything like that, my family and I discussed it and decided that contributing $5 was okay as long as I had a great hot meal in return for my efforts. My friends also sent me with money on a weekly basis. This particular week just happened to coincide with a 5-week period for me, if that makes any sense. As a side note, I'm receiving comments from people who are asking whether or not I have a Cash App or anything similar. I don't, and you should avoid spending your money on me. However, I'm not sure if I'd accept money from kind strangers on the internet just because I made a mistake in my judgment. Update. Hello, and welcome to everyone. I wrote a blog article about 2 weeks ago and wanted to offer an update on the situation. That I was being mean to myself and that I shouldn't have done it was obvious to me. However, fortunately for the people who left comments, I also realized that I needed to be a stronger advocate for myself and go further into the details of what really happened during my allergy chats. The article was the starting point for a long conversation with Alex regarding my self-esteem and financial worries, which I had avoided discussing because of my insecurity. He's a lovely guy on the inside and out. The good news is that he is very supportive, and his family has graciously offered us a guest room in their home until we can get back on our feet. I work part-time on weekends during the holidays, and my father started a new job about a month ago, so we're now putting money aside to cover our expenses. Second, I showed my parents the post, and they were understandably upset with me for doing such a thing to myself and without informing them of it beforehand. They followed the advice of others and met with Carla's parents in order to resolve the matter. This is all a bit muddled, so I'll do my best to summarize everything as concisely as possible. So Carla's father did have a list of my allergies that my parents had given him years ago, but he had lost it when they relocated to a new location. Carla, despite the fact that I provided her with an updated list, did not seem to have forwarded it to him. She was under the impression that I was making things up. Carol's parents are now enraged with her, and her father has apologized for his lack of action, as well as for making me feel uncomfortable by scaring me. I sincerely apologize for not speaking for my own interests. My friend group is still split because I'm not sure I can trust Carla anymore. Her demeanor throughout this situation has not been nice, and I've come to realize that she has never cared for me as much as some of my other friends have. Because of this, weekly meetings have been put on hold for the time being. The friends that stood by Carla's side during the struggle haven't actually communicated with me, Alex, or the other members of our little circle of pals. However, it's possible that this is for the best. I want to express my gratitude to everyone that helped me. I'm certain that this will come in helpful at some point in the near future. For the outside perspective, I'm quite appreciative.